Eddie Lampert was the CEO of Sears. In the mid-90s, he got kidnapped, but this has nothing to do with this story. In the mid-90s, one of his advisors said, "We really gotta try this whole internet thing. We gotta put Sears on the internet. It's gonna be the new thing." And Eddie Lampert famously said, "The internet is a fad and it's gonna go away." I refuse to be like Eddie Lampert, and I'm gonna get with the times a little bit with Midi. What is up, YouTube? My name is Buddy Blues, and we're looking at Midi today in I think it's a Will It Blues episode. Midi is a word that either scares the heck out of you and me, or it's something that you're so used to, it's second nature to, oh yeah, I will never live without Midi. For the uninitiated, here's what Midi is. Midi is a sort of other way to control your pedals, to control parameters of your pedals, or control certain controls of your pedals. Let me explain. A lot of pedals these days are MIDI capable. We hear that word a lot. What is MIDI capable? It means they are able to accept MIDI functions or MIDI signal or MIDI whatever, commands, let's say. And a MIDI command is able to control your pedal, whether it's parameters, volume, whether it's another parameter, drive, whether it's another cool parameter, presets, or on and off. That's Midi in the simplest of terms. Can Midi become unbelievably complicated and you can do so many different things? Yes, but that's not how I'm using it. So I had an idea of a huge board that I played in the Milkman stereo, which is what I'm using today from that video. But that board is just, it's too complicated and it's too much going on. Here's what I wanted to do. I wanted to have one button. I just want to press one button and be able to turn reverb, delay, a certain preset on my reverb, a certain preset on my delay, and perhaps an overdrive. That would require, and I calculated this because of how my presets are set, that would require 9 clicks, 9 foot presses, 3 on the reverb to get to my thing, okay? Click on, so that's 4. Another 4 clicks on the delay because I gotta get to my bank that I want, okay? And then another on the overdrive. That's 9 clicks. Well, with the Morningstar MC6 Pro, it's 1 click. Let me show you a little bit what I've got on the board and we'll play. So we start here with the Apollo approved steamroller. It is an incredible fuzz. We move on to the Jackson Audio Bloom, then I go into the Spaceman Redstone. From there I go to the tuner, then we've got the lovely Echofix Chorus, 1981 Drive, Optimist, Apollo approved Buckerite Boo, Lightspeed, into the DM101 Boss, then the Helix HX1, this is gonna get its own video, into the Helix HX1 Line 6, into the New Neighbor Illumin. Now this little thing right here, think of it as the command. This is the computer, this is the hub, this is the brains of the pedal board. If I don't click it at all, the pedal board still works as a pedal board. You just have to tap dance a bit. So I'm gonna unmute my guitar now, and I'm gonna show you what I've got. The first one that I've got on the very far left, right, sorry. Here, this is difficult because everything's upside down. So one of my favorite sounds is the OD1 on the Optimist, so the overdrive 1 of the Optimist, and a slight bit of delay. So suppose I'm not even on where I need to be. If I, in one click, I've now turned on the Optimist and the Boss DM101 together. Click it again, and it's gone. Here we go. And that's one click. I've turned on a overdrive and a delay, but I've turned on preset 1 of the overdrive and the delay. If you thought this was going to be let me teach you how to use the MC6 Pro, I will never be able to do it better than Morningstar. I will never be able to do it better than these guys that are very into MIDI. I'm showing you how I use MIDI because if, again, like I said, if I can do it, you can too. Another thing that I did in the previous video was I wanted to have one button. I wanted to click one button that would instantly get me into ambient territory. Is this what I play live? Not really. I'm a blues rock guy. but it's fun as heck to do intros with. So for example, again, here's my clean. Now I'm gonna click the thing that says ambient. Of course, you program your own with their software on the website. You don't have to download anything. You don't even have to download the app. You just plug the thing in with a USB-C into your computer and then go on their website and your editor is there. It's remarkably easy once you understand how it goes. I'll get to that in a second. Let's get back to ambient. On my ambient setting, I've got the Boss DM101 on a stereo, huge stereo delay, plus the Illuminate Me preset. I click it, we're on. And now I'm back to clean. And that's it, right? So in one click, it took me to memory bank 2 of the DM101, which I would have done, suppose I'm on number 3, I would have had to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on, so I can get this, right? And then if I was, suppose I was not on the Illuminate Me, I would have to do, imagine I'm on stage right now and there's people waiting for me to do all of this so that I can do my... So it's just, it's a no, at this point, it really is a no-brainer. I click this, both of them are on. I've got another preset called Freeze, which allows me to freeze a note. I played that earlier, I'll do it again. Brilliant, brilliant. So anything that's MIDI capable, with the exception of the Bloom, I haven't set that up yet, but I don't know if because I don't have my compressor on way too much, which is another reason to have MIDI on it. Let's not get into this. But anything that's MIDI programmable, I've got MIDI programmed on this thing because it saves me time. It's really a joy to play, to where it allows you to do more things rather than step dance and tap dance and do all of that. Step dance. The only thing with MIDI that you really need to understand is that the box itself, the MC6 Pro or any of the other things that they make, that Morningstar make, the box itself is absolute neutral. It is neutral. So you have to program everything, meaning if I'm gonna click my solo thing on, right, I have to program it for it to turn this pedal on, go to this preset, turn the boss on, the delay meaning, and go to that preset and blah, blah, blah. But you also have to program that the next press that you do it on is going to be turn this off, turn this off, turn this off. And if you use them regularly, you would have to set it to go back to the original preset. Sounds like a lot of mumbo jumbo. It's not that bad, believe me. Once you get in the hang of it, it takes, I think, about an hour for you to figure it out. And then once you do, you're like, oh, dude, this is so easy. And believe me, this is coming from me. I never played pedals, okay? I started playing pedals 4 years ago now. Well, no, 3.5 years ago. And now I'm messing with MIDI. Let me show you another thing. This is gonna control the HX1, a brilliant pedal from line 6. On this page, on my first page, because you've got banks here because this thing is perfect. On this page, I have it going to harmonic tremolo. Clean. Now I have the other button that's right beneath it. I've called it trem speed. I've got that controlling what HX1 calls their flux. So their flux is kind of like again, it's gonna get its own video. It's kind of like an extra parameter within that effect. I have mine set to a faster speed. It goes like that. Y'all didn't know you could funk with harmonic trim. I'll tell you what. So it really simplifies your flow. It really simplifies whatever it is you're doing. I'm gonna go to bank 2 for now. I've set up, again, you could set up yours however you want, but I've set up mine on bank 2 to be nothing but different types of sounds I may use coming from only the HX1, because the HX1 is a library of effects. So for example, I've got something called D standard, which is a kind of like a drop pedal. And now by clicking that, it's gonna change the preset on the HX1 and change, like go to a different bank, if you will, different preset, and turn the pedal on. Here we go. I'm gonna play clean first, so you get the feel of it, and then I'm gonna click the pedal and it's gonna drop down. It's gonna sound weird, but it's gonna drop down, right? Excellent, right? Another example would be, let's say, rotary, right? And I've got the button underneath it that controls the speed. Rather than me having to turn it on, well, find the preset by clicking twice on the HX1, scrolling down to number, I think this effect is perhaps number 90 something. Find that effect and then control the flux to, listen, it's there. Here it is. Off, on, speed. Excellent. Another example, the Ottawa. Again, this isn't a demo for the HX1. I'm just showing you how much the Morningstar could do. Ottawa, right? So again, I don't have to dig through anything. It's all there. The only thing is you have to program it. Now, if you can see on the screen, it says on the Illumin, on this guy right here, on the reverb, it says we're on the freezable preset. Well, even if I click the preset that does not have freezable in it, it'll change it. Boom. Now I can get all ambient. And I can see why the worship gang really gets into Midi and they really program the heck out of their boards, because the way I'm using it is perhaps I'm using 10%, well, maybe less, of how much the MC6 Pro could actually do. Because you've got double clicks, you've got long clicks, you've got click, then release. All that could do different parameters, different controls to whatever you've got going on your pedal. And that's just brilliant to me, because again, people that play, for example, in cover bands, people that play in whatever, that have a set list, It'll be easy to program your whole set list by buttons. That's it. And then, or banks even. If you've got a song that requires a phaser, a flanger, this and that, compressor plus overdrive, heavy metal, whatever it is, you've got banks and you control songs, you can control sets, you can control different bands. If you're in different bands, you can have a different preset for everything. This thing takes, I don't know how many banks. I think it's 127 banks or something like that. Are you kidding me? I'm using two. I'm using two banks, and I've got everything I could possibly think of going on for me. Was it an absolute breeze? I blinked and I learned? No. There is a learning curve. I'll never lie to you. There is a learning curve. The first hour or so was very frustrating because I couldn't understand what the difference between program control is and CC and PC and... Listen, let me explain this to you very simply. If you are like me, if you're here, you're probably like me. If you're new, I'm sorry. Here's how this goes. A control change, what they call a CC, is how you control the pedal itself. Meaning, on and off of the pedal, bypass, whatever, that would be considered a control change. A program change, or what they call a PC, is how you would control a parameter or a program within that pedal. So let's take the Boss DM101 for example, because that was the easiest for me to program. It's got five memory blocks within. It has 127. Let's not get into that. What we can see with our eyes, it has 5 memory banks. So for me to send a message to go to number 3, right? Memory number 3, I would have to send first a control message, a CC, that turns the pedal on, right? Because we want to play the pedal. So in the line, I would have CC to turn the pedal on, and I would also simultaneously have a PC in it, a program change, probably like a program change number 3. It depends on each pedal is different, but the manual will always tell you. So we've got CC and whatever the number is, and Morningstar provides you with a Midi dictionary, or a Midi library, I should say, to where everything is saved for you. Back in the day, you had to go through manuals and look at, oh, for me to turn on the Boss, I have to do CC number 7 and blah, 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 number 127 and 0. None of that. All you have to do is click what you want. It tells you Boss, DM101, it's all on their website. Boss, DM101, how to turn on and off. You click it and it auto-fills it for you, your control message, your CC. Brilliant. Now, I wanted to program change to number 3, memory number 3. Easy, that's PC3. That's it. Now I just have to program what happens when I click it again. For me, other people do it differently. But for me, I have it just kind of like a pedal, really, on, off. That's all I want the pedal to do. So I have to send a CC message to turn it off. Again, it's in their Midi dictionary, Midi library. And if I don't really care about where the memory stays, I would leave it, or I would have it go back to PC0, which is your original bank. There is no simpler way of simplifying this. It is very easy to get to. If you ever run into problems, it's almost never Morningstar's fault. That's what I learned. It's almost never Morningstar's fault, but the pedal receiving. It's either you didn't read, you're probably the problem, but you either didn't read the manual properly, or the pedal needs to be reset or something like that, so that it receives the MIDI properly. That's really it. Those are the only issues I've run into. Have been me, the problem. It's me. I am the problem. Who says that? Taylor Swift. And I ran into a problem where Boss wasn't receiving MIDI properly. Turns out I had a bad cable. So really give Midi a try. It could simplify so many things for you. Like I've got half the board that I don't touch anymore. I just don't touch it anymore. I've got all these pedals that are incredible. The Boss DM101 has 127 memory banks. The HX1 has 1.5 billion memory banks and effects. The New Neighbor Illumin, one of the best reverbs I've ever played, has so many. I think it has like something like 47 different reverbs and different parameters. I don't touch those because I find what I like, kind of like an overdrive. You set it and you forget it. I find what I like, I program them, and with a click of a button, I'm in the territory that I want to be in. I'm going to play you out now with some freezable action. I love freezing a chord and playing on top of it. If this was your first time on the channel, welcome. If it's not, welcome back. My name is Buddy Blues. A huge thank you to Morningstar for hooking me up with the MC6 Pro. It is a game changer in the pedal world. Please consider liking, sharing, subscribing. I'll share a link to the MC6 Pro down beneath. It's not an affiliate link, meaning if you click it, I don't get money. They get the money, and they deserve it because they're good people. And you should definitely check out their YouTube channel because it helped me a lot when I was going Through it. Let's freeze.